Today we're changing the lower control arm bushings on a 2005, which is a Mark IV Volkswagen GTI. Same would be applicable for Golfs and Jettas as well. First step is take off the wheel. Now I have the wheel off, I'm going to show you how bad this bushing is. Watch this. See that? That's a lovely thrashed bushing. And I'll zoom in on this guy. Scoot my tripod over. Alright. See that guy right here? He's thrashed. The Volkswagen, in infinite wisdom, decided to put the part with no rubber on it right here and on the opposite side of the bolt. So when your brakes hit, this arm is going to push inwards. Kind of stupid. And especially when you have any like good bumps on the road like we do here in Houston, it's going to trash pretty fast. I'll show you again on a close-up. Marvelous, right? Now, what we've done is we've gone and gotten a set of R32 bushings for the same Mark IV, and R32 bushings are actually solid. So here's the R32 bushing. Open this guy up, let's see it better. R32 bushing, solid. Smart. Dumb. Also, the front bushings don't really go bad. I mean, I just did one with 112,000 miles on it and they were perfect. But I figured, you know what, while I'm in here, I got a set of polyurethane graphite impregnated so they don't squeak and you never have to grease them. 2-piece bearings, bushings. So when I get the old ones out, I can just push these guys right in as long as the hole is nice and clean. We've got our ball joint bolts. Alright, so what we're going to do is first we're going to take this dude off. He's our sway bar mount link, and then we're going to take these 3 ball joint bolts out right here, and then we're going to take this front bolt. You probably can't really see, a little occluded. You can usually just take this one skirt bolt off here and just kind of push it out of the way, but there's a bolt right here. Take that guy off for the front of the control arm. And then, of course, we're going to take our rear bolt out from the bottom. And then I'm actually going to be able to pull this whole thing away. You probably have to like cock the steering wheel a little bit to get some slack on the arm here, but you know, it'll come right out. And then the nicely well done Volkswagen, they put a little notch in the control arm so you can just kind of pop the control arm down, and then the ball joint will pop out from it. You pull back a little bit, it'll pop out. Alright, so I've gotten all the bolts out here. Hello, foot. And I'm ready to take this arm out. This is the best angle I think I could get with the camera without having to move it around, and I don't have 4 arms. So anyway, we go ahead and pull this thing off. So first what we'll have to do is just pull on this guy, pull him out a little bit. See if you can pull this ball joint, this part, the wheel away from the arm. You might have to try to push the arm in a little bit to do it. And then you're going to have to grab the ball joint, because he'll want to move. You're going to have to align the ball joint up with the notch that's in the control arm. And then kind of bend it down a little bit so it clears. And the arm will just clear. You see that on the camera? Cool. So now my ball joint's out. Real simple, right? Didn't have to disconnect any linkages, didn't have to screw up any alignment. Though the alignment probably will change, maybe by a small fraction, because these bolt holes in the control arm where the bolts go into are like a lot bigger. You can see. I'll show you here. You'll see anyway, but see that? You have like quite a bit of slop right there, so I don't know what that translates to as far as camber goes, but it's certainly not meant to be an adjustment. Anyway, so then simply grab the front of the control arm right here, pull this guy out. Alright, now here's where the magic happens, alright? This is the cheat. And you won't really be able to pull it out easily because of that bushing. Here, let me get over here so you can see. Okay, you're not going to be able to really, once you get the new bushing in for sure, you're never going to be able to push the thing straight in. So what you can do This guy just pivots straight out all the way back. So he's parallel, right? So the front edge is parallel with the side of the car. Just pull. Ta-da! There's one removed control arm. Alright, so I got my swing arm out. And I got it in my bench vise here. Bench vise is your friend. We need to get the center out, which is going to be easy. Just simply twist. There's hardly anything left of it. That goes in the garbage. Now we need to make a clean spot in the rubber. So I'm going to grab my handy dandy air saw. And this is where you got to be kind of gentle, because you don't want to go into the control arm for sure. To tell you the truth, you don't actually need to go all the way through this bushing, but you can see right here where the bushing lip is. This is just the piece of the bushing, and this is your control arm, of course. I'm going to take Harbor Freight, wonderful quality. Take this guy right here, and I'm just going to go zap and get him most of the way through here. Then I'm going to grab my air hammer and find whatever lip. This is the best lip, I guess, right here, and just cave it in just a little bit. That'll take all the tension off of this guy, and it'll pop right out. So no pressing is required. Alright, so we're going to have a little action here with the air hammer. Maybe you can see this little, you see that little cut that I stuck in here? Alright, he goes all the way through, and it's most of the way through. Like I said, you don't really have to go all the way through, as long as you get most of the way through, because you just don't want to damage the control arm. Put any kind of, like, you know, stress points on there so that, you know, if you hit a really nasty bump or something, I don't know, maybe it could cause some issues or cause the bearing bushing to slip or something. Just be safe with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to whack this guy with the air hammer. He's going to crush down, take the tension off of here, pop right out. So let's give that a try. I'll show you what I mean. You want to get in here like this, kind of at an angle. You definitely want to grab onto him good. Okay? There's not a whole lot of room to work in there, so you're basically going this way with it. This should sound interesting on the final video. I love these things. Oop. I'm gonna destroy my camera. Or my swing arm. You see how maybe you can see in there it's just tearing. Obviously I didn't cut it all the way through, but it's tearing through. Lovely panel cutter. Alright, so now you can see there's a nice gap there. And just grab him and just tap it. My handy dandy ball peen, screwdriver and ball peen. Well, that was fun. So here's our liberated bushing, nice and squished with our air hammer. It looks like I did go most of the way through there, if not all the way. Let's see how my hole looks. Look at my hole. Nice, no saw marks. Beautiful. Tip to you here. When you start whacking these guys out, take your new bushings and stick them in the freezer. It's going to make them a little bit smaller, and it'll make it much easier to press, especially when you get a little bit of lube on them. I actually used the same bench vise, and you'll see that, to push them in, because I do not own a hydraulic press. Okay, so the next part of our DIY is the front bushing on the lower control arm. This guy is a lot of fun, because we get to use fire. Now, it's rubber, and we're going to burn the hell out of it, and it's going to smell like hell. So you want to have a shop fan or something. If you don't own one, my condolences, but you want to have a shop fan pushing air out of whatever your work area is. Ideally you do this outside. I don't have a bench vise outside, so I don't have that luxury, but I'm just going to kick this fan on and shut up and get to burning this thing, and you see how easy it comes out. I'm going to grab onto him with a vice grip after I've heated it. You don't want to put your vice grip on beforehand, because when you grab the handle you get a nasty surprise. That happened once to me, and you pretty much learn. So get your vice grip adjusted on here. Here I got a kind of funky, one of these funky vice grips. But alright, so he's locked on there pretty good. Hopefully I won't run out of oxygen. Maybe a little conservative. Alright. Nice small hot flame. Yeah, I put him right in the opening here. It's already starting to smoke. You get that oxygen in there, it doesn't take too long. It's starting to smell like bacon. Now it's starting to smell like burning tire. Be careful about getting these things too hot. I've actually had them shoot out before. Once or twice. Alright, we're smoking. I'm going to give him a grab. Oh, a little flame. Give him a quick grab to see if he's ready. Oh yeah. Turn my flame off. Cut my oxygen. Just gently, sort of. Now I can get a good grab. Back and forth. Pull. Don't burn yourself. Bam. This thing stinks to high hell, man. That's what I do. I throw it outside. On the concrete, of course, and we'll catch leaves on fire, I would imagine. Whew. Stink. You just take a knife carefully, being a word. Cut around this. Make sure you're stable. You don't want this to fly off and hit you in the face. Make a nice dueling scar for you. Oop. And I'll just grab him in there and tear that rubber off. It shouldn't be too hot if you were easy with that flame. Right, now you see we have it here. Don't see. Take this off of here. See, you'll see we have just like this now. So at that point, pretty much just push him through, or you can grab it from the other side, kind of pull it through with your screwdriver, big screwdriver. See, and he just comes out garbage. Now your hole is going to have some pretty stuff in it. Again, see my hole. It's pretty shiny. Sit right back here towards the end. You're gonna get this little lip of crap at the end from like all the road wear and stuff. You're gonna want to clean that off, like a little Scotch-Brite or whatever your favorite scratchy thing is, and put a little bit of lube in there, and then your urethane bushings will go in like magic. Alright. Okay, so sometimes you need lube. I just tried these out a second ago, and they do go in nicely. So once you get these holes cleaned up, like I said, get all the grunge and little, you know, you want it to feel smooth all the way through. Otherwise it's going to get caught up on these because it's like an exact fit. Alright, so we just put him in the top and just kind of push him in. He goes in like that. Take your bar and put him in just a little bit, and take the other one, get him in the bottom, wiggle it in there, and then you want to push this guy through. Get him flush, little love tap. Perfect. Now the fun begins with the other bushing. So I'm going to clean this hole up a little bit. I have my handy dandy air angle grinder with the red Scotch-Brite on the end of it. Takes just a second. If you don't have one of these, you can use a regular Scotch-Brite, some sandpaper or whatever. You just want to get all the jagged paint and crap. I'll show you here. You can see in there there's some kind of flaky paint and whatnot. It's just going to make it a little harder. So it's easier if you just clean that up. Don't go nuts on it. You don't want to mess up the tolerances. Just clean the crap off. Alright, now here's how I do this. You could probably do this several different ways. I got a pretty good bench vise here. It's like a 4-inch and it opens quite a bit. I don't know an exact number, I never looked or measured. But anyway, I got 2 pieces of pretty heavy duty scrap angle steel here, because your bushing has that little metal piece in the middle, right? So this is kind of a pain in the ass to hold while you get it going. But alright, so I'm going to take first my arm here. Okay. Whatever, blooper. So my cutting oil, and I'm going to give this nice little hole that we cleaned up where the bushing goes. You can see that hole. Give him a little spray over my garbage can so I don't get all over the shop. Alright. Stick your finger in there. Spread them around. Now you notice on this swing arm there's 2 sides to it. Technically the swing arm is the same part number for either side. And it doesn't really matter which way the bushing goes in, because they're exactly the same. If you use the stock ones, I don't know why in the world you'd want to do that, but the stock ones have the little air gap that I showed you before that needs to face the inside and outside of the car. R32 bushings, thank you very much, are solid. So it doesn't matter how you put these guys in. Also the collar is the same depth on either side, so it doesn't matter which way you flip it in there. But on the swing arm has a sloped side and it has a flat side. Now this is important, okay? Because you're going to push it in the slope side. It's actually going to go in fairly easily. You may or may not want to put a little bit of heat on the swing arm first. Last time I did this I used a heat gun, but it was like so easy I don't think I really even need to do that. Alright, so then the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to get my plate in here so he has a little bit better support. I see my frame. Okay, looks good. Alright, now, oh yeah. You're also going to have something to push it in with. In my case, where'd it go? I'm going to use this guy just because that's what I had. This is a cast iron lug nut, not lug nut, what do you call it, a wheel hub nut knockoff tool for like Volkswagen Beetles and buses and stuff. It just happened to be like just the right size, so you get this awkward contraption on your vise, put him over here on this side, kind of hold it against the vise, get him centered, and then start turning in. Now you're going to need a pretty good cheater bar for this, and hopefully your vise screw is like pretty big. Don't blame me if you trash your vise. Alright, now you see how he's going to meet up. Most important thing you can do right now is to hold this arm steady and get this guy aligned in this hole straight, because if you don't get him the hole straight, you're going to egg out that hole, and it's not going to be your friend anymore. So he's pretty straight now. Let's see if I can get the camera in here a little better. You can see all the garbage in my garage. Actually, it's not garbage, it's treasure. Alright. Beautiful. Okay. Now I have my handy dandy cheater bar. This guy I'm going to stick on the vise here. You should be able to see it. Alright. To get it started, you can do this by hand, just to get it started. He's going in, it's going in a little crooked. Let's see if I can fix that a little bit here. Let me raise it up just a little bit. I want to go slow. Like I said, this is the most critical part. Just trying to get him in straight. This is obviously probably not the best tool for the job, but it's what I have, so that's how I'm going to do it. Alright, now with your handy dandy cheater bar, you start him in like this. Arrgh. Obviously, if you had a press, shit, even an 8-ton press would probably be perfect for this. Even one of those lever presses, benchtop ones. Okay, now you need to keep an eye on the inside here. You can't see it, I can barely see it. I got a little bit farther to go, because what's going to happen is you'll see it obviously when you see the gap here. You'll start losing space right there. Well, this will actually touch your vise. That means you're starting to like squish the bushing, because that thing sticks out the other side. That's when I'm going to actually take this plate off and put the other one, put them on either side. If I had another one of those little knockoff things, I would just use another one on the back, but I don't, so this is how we're going to do it. Maybe one more turn. Yeah, and we're starting to hit on that side. So, loosen them up a bit. Damn you mosquitoes. Grab this guy so it didn't fall out. Just get another one. Sneak him in there. Get him on either side. Use your knee or whatever appendage you have available to do this. You're going to need to get it recentered also. Just go slow. Make sure you do it right. Also, you're going to want to make sure your swing arm isn't impinging on the movement, because these things are just stamped steel and they're kind of wacky looking. So, going to hold it, center it, tighten it slow, get them on there and ready to shove. Grab your cheater bar, go in there again. You got to hand it to this vise. It's been through a lot of crap over its life. So then you're going to come in. Eventually the lip of that bushing is going to touch the other lip, and because your press plates are in there, you're not going to be able to press it in any further. That's when you know it's time to stop. And that's about where we're at. One more crank for good luck. Alright, back off of it a little. Alright, take a look-see here. Alright. I'm going to put it on the edge here, see if I can press it in just a little bit more. My plates on the edges. Alright. I need to push the vise down a little so it bites. And at this point, my little knockoff plates hit all the way, so it should be good. The thing you don't want to do on these things is hammer them. I really don't like that. If you deform that hole, it is not your friend. Alright, show you my handiwork here. So you see our bearing, a bushing. I keep saying bearing. It's nice and even right here on this surface. Got him in here today. Alright, and this guy we did before. Lovely. And it didn't take too long, huh? So, I'll do the next one and spare you that. And next step will be reassembly. Alright, I'm back. So I got the other side on. I went ahead and rotated some tires while I was at it too. Inspected a few other things. Noticed that I got a CV boot that's leaking a little bit. It's cracked off the very end. So I got one rib hanging onto the axle and the other one's kind of receded. So it's not bleeding all over the place yet, but that'll probably be my next how-to, is doing your CV boots. So anyway, got this side now. I'm ready to put this arm back on. Control arm. So installation, of course, is the reverse of removal. How many times have we read that? For those of us who actually read directions. So you want to keep an eye on this hole. It's going to make it a whole lot easier if you can get it on there accurately. It's going to be a whole lot easier because these bushings are a lot stiffer. So sort of try to visualize where that hole was. Tap it in a little bit. Then you're going to want to grab your bolt. The bolts are actually this wonderful little pointed style locator bolt. So I think this is the front one. Let me see. Yeah, I put my nut. The back one's got a nut on it. So you just got to slip them in here and kind of feel it with your finger a little bit. You go a little further. Alright, and you got a bolt in here. You just gently push in the bolt. Kind of just wiggle this a little bit. And I'll go through and wiggle them a little bit more. Ow. Yeah, don't hit that too hard. Rubber mallet's probably your friend for this thing. Not to mention these are a lot stiffer. After a little bit of struggle. He's peeking through the other side now. I can get the nut on. Now as far as all these fasteners, don't tighten them down yet. Just get everything on there first, okay? So I'm going to push this down. You're going to feel how much stiffer it is. Yay. So move this over here. Push him down. Get him lined up. Let's move the camera over here so you can see. I'm going to get him lined up with this slot in the front. Just going to have to move out of the way here. And line up with the slot. Wrestle with it a little bit. Pull this guy back. Push him in as far as you can. Here. You're going to want to probably swing this sway bar link out of the way a little. As far in there as you can. Now I'm going to grab my handy dandy ratchet handle. You'll notice these swing arms have all sorts of fun little holes in them, which you can get things through. So I can just push them through this hole, push it against the swing arm. I'll use that to tap it in there a little bit. There we go. This guy, our ball joint, we're going to swing this guy around. And it's going to have to go into that hole. Yeah, like I said, this is going to be harder because this is stiffer. So you want to kind of dip them both down. This is the hard part of the cheat. And in this case, I'm not going to have enough slack because my steering is turned a little bit to the left. Which is actually the direction I need it to go. But it's not turned left enough. So I don't want to spend too much time with that. I think I'll turn the wheel. Do be gentle when you do that. Even on jack stands, nothing is Nothing is infallible, so let's see. In case you're wondering what the hell I'm listening to, it's a Soma FM. It's an internet radio station, the Secret Agent channel. Really dig the groovy 70s, 60s kind of thing going on that they got. And it's free. Come on. I need to get this arm up in there a little bit further. Just free to beat on it a little. What will help is if you take the back bolt out, but I don't really find it's necessary. See, there we go. Just a couple little love taps. And if you can see that, right then we're in. Now, pay very careful attention to these bolts that go in for the ball joint, because it's really easy to like miss the actual hole and think you have it in, and that's just going to be disastrous if you got it all together and you find that out, and you have to go back and take the wheel off, and God only knows what that would sound like going down the road. The other thing is this wonderful little nut plate. Put that guy up on top of here first because the clearances are really tight. I start with the center one because it pivots the whole rest of the thing. Just get it in there a few threads and then get your front end or your back or whatever. And hold them straight a little bit. And then your back one. Okay, let's see. Look how much play that's got. Crazy, right? So like I said, alignment might be a little bit of an issue. I definitely recommend getting your car aligned after doing this. Probably shouldn't have to do it after you do struts. Maybe not, or if you didn't take the ball joint bolts off. But I find half the time when I try to pop a ball joint off with a pickle fork, you end up destroying the ball joint. So yeah, I just don't recommend doing that. Alright, we get our front bolt in here. Let's see if we can see that. Sort of. Push this guy out of the way. This is a little fun to align. You definitely have to use a little bit of muscles here. Just watch the hole. Pull back on the assembly. Kind of get them close. It's awkward. Push them in there. And while you're pushing in, give them a little wiggle again. There you go. Push in. You'll feel the threads hit. Get them threaded. And we're going to want to get our sway bar end link popped on here. This guy right there. Now, I find it helps a whole lot, strangely, if you pull this away a little bit when you're threading them in. Otherwise, you have a tendency to get these things cross-threaded. You can. There's a little bit of force in here. It should thread easily, unless you get some crap caught in it. See that cross-threaded? Started to anyway. Might require a little muscling again. Wiggle the bar around till you feel it kind of free, like that. I'm not even sure if I'm in there. Yeah, okay, cool. There's a lot of threads on this booger. Alright, so I got him threaded, the back one's threaded, all my ball joints are threaded. I'm gonna go ahead and snug them up. Okay, so I got everything back on here, and I just wanted to add this, okay? Don't be a douche nozzle and put your freaking wheel on, your lug nuts on with an air ratchet, so that you won't be able to get it off if you ever have a flat, and also so you end up cracking and screwing up your rims. Put them on with a ratchet. You know, when it's still in the air, just stick them on there, thread them down by hand, give them like a good jiggle, and you're thinking, oh, they're gonna fall off. No, look, give them a good jiggle. This makes it straight. Gets everything aligned on there, okay? And then drop it down on the ground. You want to use like maybe like a 18-inch, 15-inch, whatever breaker bar, just with a good oomph. Don't go nuts on it. Don't jump on it. Any of that kind of crap. Aluminum wheels do not like that. Steel wheels, yeah, you probably abuse a lot more, but still, don't be a douche nozzle.